LSU. There you go, Mario. You guys are so back. We're back. Massive win this week against Ole Miss in overtime. Game-winning touchdown on the first offensive play in overtime.
And Trey Harris.
Yeah.
Or not Trey.
Kyron Lacey.
Kyron Lacey, sorry.
This motherfucker. Trey Harris is nuts.
I can't get through an intro.
He didn't even play like the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Kyron Lacey, they had to go live post-game. They were doing their thing. Yeah, 29-26 over Ole Miss. Ole Miss kind of in shambles now. They control their own destiny, but they got to win out, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Yeah, Mario, I'm going to you. Yep. You're undefeated in the SEC. You just so happen to play Texas A&M in A&M in 2 weeks, who's also undefeated.
Yeah.
They just jumped up to the top 5 in in SEC championship odds. They're only plus 165 now to make the playoffs. So this is becoming very much a live team for some postseason action. How do you feel as an LSU fan watching this team? First, tell me what you thought about the game, and then what you think about their chances.
Oh man, this game going into it, I kept my expectations so low.
You were low as hell.
No, I mean, I walked in, I was like, listen, Ole Miss is gonna win. I kept telling myself in my head, I was just like, Jackson Dart's better, Ole Miss is better. And they looked better, honestly, for most of the game. The thing though about the team that I was really impressed with LSU was just our resiliency. In the past, we would just kind of roll over and give up, but this was just one of those games where they were outplaying us, but they were outplaying us from the start of the drive to
the red zone.
The red zone.
Yeah.
They would look better, and then when they would get to the red zone, we would tighten up
down
and hold them to field goals, which they happened to miss a couple, and we get a few turnovers. So it was just one of those games where as long as we bend but don't break, we can keep ourselves in the game and give ourselves a shot, which is all I wanted. I just wanted us to have a shot at winning. I was in my head, I saw a lot of possibilities where this game could get out of hand kind of quick. Our defense surprisingly looked way better.
Unbelievable.
Way better. We were getting pressure on Jackson Dart, which all season our defense has been mediocre as being kind. I mean, it's just been so flaky. Harold Perkins obviously is out for the season, so we haven't had him for the past couple weeks. But our offense was always kind of steady, never that explosive Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow type, but we would always move the ball pretty well. But our offense kind of sputtered for the first half, and then caught our stride in the second half. And
6 sacks to 0. LSU to Ole Miss. That's pretty big discrepancy there.
Yeah, and Ole Miss was leading the nation in sacks, their defense. So for us, I mean, we do, in my opinion, I knew going into the season, we were ranked a top 3 O-line. We might have the best. I mean, those boys are just massive up front. So, I mean, we did a good job keeping, giving Garrett Nussmeier some time. I don't know. I'm not getting too excited, though. Not getting too excited.
You're tempering expectations.
Yeah. Still
Mike,
keeping them
out there. You're right now the king of the SEC. Looking down at LSU.
F Mike, by the way. He said, F me, bet Ole Miss. Yeah. You're fucking terrible, dude.
You're terrible.
You're so bad at picking.
He plays on people's
downfall. How does it feel?
Dude.
No, yeah. I mean, he loves Ryan Day. He picks Ole Miss.
That's sharp.
This guy.
Talk to him, Mike.
When we had chosen the topics and I went to create my notes for this, my mind immediately went to, holy shit, how can I just shit on LSU? How can I figure out an angle?
No, of course. That's what you wake up and do every day to 1, 2, and 3.
How can I just, ride on the tails of Brian Kelly's the worst coach of all time and that he's just going to lead you guys into oblivion?
What conclusion did you come to there?
My conclusion is that I can't do it and LSU kind of deserves their flowers. So I will no longer be betting against LSU for the rest of the year.
No, continue.
Yeah, you got to keep stop. You got to keep betting.
I'm going to be fading Texas,
I mean, that's fair.
It's going to be good this week.
That's fine. You can continue to lose money all the way until we win a championship. I don't care. And we're going to win the SEC.
Go on!
So, it'll be even better. But, it was really impressive the way that LSU was able to switch up in the second half. And Mario had talked about it previously, but their defense was just insane. I mean, they allowed 17 in the first half, and then they allowed 6 in the second, 3 in overtime, which is unheard of.
You've never seen that before in college football, actually.
Never seen it.
3 in overtime.
I mean, okay. All right. This guy's just loving the needle. But I thought it was really impressive, so I think they deserve all the credit that's coming to them. But I also think that the next 3 games at Arkansas, at A&M, and versus Bama are going to be the actual test.
Yeah.
I think,
think so?
in my opinion, I think A&M and Bama are both better than Ole Miss. And so, Arkansas is an upset team who beat Tennessee.
Yeah.
But I think that the genuine test for LSU where I will draw my line in the sand
Alabama.
it's at A&M. I think playing at Death Valley for Bama is going to give you guys a pretty big advantage there. But I think going into Kyle Field in A&M, unbelievably tough place to play as A&M is getting a lot of momentum. I think that'll be a real test for you. So, I think everything is kind of pointing to that at this point because I think you guys will roll over Arkansas. I don't see a problem.
Yeah, I love that you brought up the remaining schedule because let me just read off all the games they're about to win. They're about to go play Arkansas, A&M, Bama, Florida, home versus Vandy, home versus Oklahoma. They run the table in those. LSU will be competing for an SEC championship. They are
What?
Yep, SEC championship.
I heard what you said.
LSU.
I know.
No,
Holy
I mean, you
shit.
guys will
I
beat
mean,
Bama.
No,
I'll
I
say
think
that right now.
Bro,
Well, no, I am 100% confident in this. I will be hammering this team. Nothing to do with you being a fan. I love their stats and metrics compared to the rest of the teams in the SEC are fucking crazy. So they're averaging 32.2 points per game, which is 30th nationally and 5th best in the SEC, but they're all pretty bunched together between like 30 and 35. Texas is kind of, above the rest.
44.
Yeah, it helped playing a lot of
whatever.
nobodies early in the season. They can score on most teams and will be in pretty much every game. So that's my thought for them there. They have the 5th best passing offense in the country and the best passing offense in the SEC. So on top of that, them having, arguably the best O-line, they have the best passing offense. Their wide receivers have been going crazy, and their overall points per game are literally hanging in there with everyone. I love the spots you play these teams. I think you can win in Arkansas. A&M, I think you're just better than. So, that's going to be a hard game. I agree with Mike, but I think you're better than A&M. I don't really think A&M is that fantastic. I mean, they play good games. We'll see what happens. Home against Bama, that being at home is fucking massive.
Yeah, I think
Bama allows
them
points to everybody. Everyone's scoring on Alabama this year. It doesn't matter who you are. All these games are close. I think you can outscore them. And, the rest of the year, I'm not worried about Florida, Vandy, or Oklahoma. So, odds to make the playoffs down to 165. Nussie moves in the top 9 in Heisman odds. I'm betting on this LSU team. I think they can go.
Yeah, I'm complete opposite. I'm not that I don't think they're good and they had an amazing comeback win. It was impressive. I just have watched this LSU team and I'm still not that impressed. I mean, they won the game off resiliency, like Mario said. They were supposed to lose the game. I think they were at a point 95% to lose the game on the betting scale. And I think a home field advantage was massive, huge in this game.
Everything.
And I think Trey Harris, like Mario said, not playing in the second half or barely playing and not in the fourth quarter.
Or like Mike said, catching the game winner.
Yeah, game winner was also big. So I think Jackson Dart, you also got sacked enough. You don't have that weapon you're throwing to immediately you can go to. That's why they got slowed down in the second half. The first half, they looked like they could throw the ball everywhere. Yeah, when you get inside the 20, it's tough to score, and they had a lot of mistakes. Yeah. But Ole Miss, I think, wins this game a lot of the times, almost 100% of the time if they're at home. LSU played an amazing second half. Brian Kelly Flowers, he turned around and coached a good second half game. I thought there were barely any holes in that second half. But I don't think this LSU team is that great. I think there's a huge reason for that, why they're only 3-point favorites, I think, against Arkansas. Yeah. I think that's absurd after the biggest win, and they're a top 10 team. So we'll see. There's a lot to be said. I think the entire SEC beside Texas is chalk, and anyone can beat anyone. It's a new Pac-12. So I have a lot to say about that. But
the new Pac-12.
Yeah, it's how I view. It's how I view
wild.
the new Pac-12 of the last year. The last year, not all years. When it was Oregon in the top 4, Washington top 4, and everyone was scoring a lot. But yeah, LSU flowers to them. But I agree with Mario. You should be very held back on them being
I'm not
this
getting my hopes up.
juggernaut of team. But we'll see. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, a big game this week. We're going to talk about it on our Thursday episode. A lot of big games in the SEC, so keep an eye on that. But I am betting on LSU. I think they run the table. I think they run the table. Go Tigers.
I think we'll be seeing each other in the SEC championship.
That would be
Come on
absurd.
now.
That would feed families.
I mean, I'd be so excited.
Mario would not
I'm ready
right there.
for it.
I mean, that's
I'm literally ready
That's
for
all
it.
we need.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah, I mean, you
What,
need
just a shot?
you
Just
need
an
a miracle.
opportunity?
If they're undefeated in SEC play and you only have 1 loss, I think Georgia would get ahead of you.
I don't know if we would have a loss.
You play Georgia this week.
That would be
Oh, no,
crazy.
sorry. We're gonna talk.
LSU goes
I don't
undefeated.
think
We have our own
Texas is
episode.
out.
We have our own episode coming on that on Friday. Stay tuned.
There's a way Texas.
Yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned for
Don't
that.
get
Go
me
Tigers.
excited.